You're working Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, my boss Marcus announced on December 20th. No exceptions, no excuses. I stood in his office, my hands trembling. Marcus, I put in my time off request in January. You approved it. My kids are flying in from their dads in Seattle. He leaned back in his chair, smirking. Plans change. We need coverage and you're the most experienced. Consider it a compliment. It wasn't a compliment. It was punishment for reporting his harassment last month. He'd been making comments about my body, my divorce, my availability. HR had given him a warning. Now he was retaliating. I haven't seen my children in 6 months, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. Please, anyone else can cover the front desk. No one else has your qualifications, he said, his eyes traveling down my body. You'll be here, or you'll be unemployed. Your choice. I left his office feeling sick. My 8-year-old son James and 10-year-old daughter Mia were flying in tomorrow. Their tickets were non-refundable. They'd been counting down the days. But I needed this job. The divorce had drained my savings. Child support barely covered their school expenses. I was trapped and Marcus knew it. He'd orchestrated this perfectly. I'd worked at Brennan Industries for 7 years, starting as a receptionist and working up to executive assistant for the senior management team. Marcus had become my direct supervisor 2 years ago when he was promoted to operations director. At first, he seemed professional, complimentary about my work, supportive of my situation as a single mom. Then the divorce finalized and everything changed. The comments started small. You look prettier when you smile. That dress fits you perfectly. Must be lonely at night without a husband. I documented everything but said nothing, needing the stability. The escalation was gradual. Lunch invitations I couldn't refuse. Work dinners where he'd order wine and sit too close. Texts after hours about non-work topics. When I finally reported him, HR's response was minimal. He's valuable to the company, they said. Try to work it out professionally. His warning letter might as well have been a declaration of war. He cut my overtime, changed my schedule randomly, criticized work he'd previously praised. Now this. Taking my Christmas with my children. The cruelest punishment he could devise. I looked at the flight information on my phone. The kids landed tomorrow at 3 p.m. I was supposed to work until 8 p.m. They'd be alone at the airport on Christmas Eve. As I continue, please subscribe, comment, like, and share this video. I tried reasoning with other managers, begging for help. Susan from accounting looked sympathetic, but scared. I can't cross Marcus, she whispered. He got the last person who opposed him fired. Robert from IT shook his head. I'm sorry, but I can't risk my job. I've got kids too. Everyone was afraid of Marcus. He had the ear of the regional directors, took credit for others' work, and destroyed anyone who challenged him. But I knew something Marcus didn't. 3 months ago, while fixing the security system, Robert had accidentally given me access to the camera archives. All of them, including Marcus's office. I'd never used it, respecting privacy and fearing consequences. But desperation changes ethics. That night, I stayed late, logged into the security system, and started reviewing footage.
What I found changed everything.
Marcus wasn't just harassing me. He was stealing from the company. Thousands of dollars in false expense reports. Company equipment sold online. Meetings with competitors, sharing proprietary information. But the worst discovery was footage from 2 weeks ago. Marcus in the CEO's office after hours, accessing files he shouldn't have touched. Downloading client lists onto a personal drive. Our CEO, William Brennan, was old school. He'd built this company from nothing. Betrayal was the one thing he never forgave. I had my weapon. Now I needed the courage to use it. December 21st arrived with snow and dread. My ex-husband called from Seattle. Kids are so excited, he said. Mia made you a Christmas ornament in art class. James has been practicing a song on his recorder. I can't wait to see them, I said, not mentioning I might not be there to pick them up. After we hung up, I made my decision. I compiled the security footage onto a flash drive, Marcus's theft, his meetings with competitors, his after-hours access to confidential files. Then I added my own documentation, emails, texts, recorded conversations of his harassment. I addressed the package to William Brennan, marked urgent and confidential. But I didn't send it yet. First, I'd try one more time to reason with Marcus. I found him in his office that afternoon, feet up on his desk, laughing on the phone. He waved me away dismissively, but I stood my ground. When he finally hung up, his expression was annoyed. What now? Begging won't change anything. My children are flying in tomorrow, I said calmly. They haven't seen me in 6 months. Please, Marcus. It's Christmas. He stood up, walking around his desk to stand too close. Maybe we could work something out, he said, his hand reaching for my waist. Have dinner with me tonight. Be nice. Maybe I'll reconsider. I stepped back, disgusted. I'd rather lose my job. His face hardened. Then you will. After Christmas. Consider this your notice. 2 weeks from today. The termination threat was the final straw. I went back to my desk, attached the flash drive to an email, and sent everything to William Brennan's personal email. The one he thought nobody knew about. Then I sent copies to the entire board of directors. Subject line: Urgent security breach and theft by Operations Director Marcus Hayes. The email detailed everything with timestamps and video evidence. Within minutes, my phone rang. Mr. Brennan's personal assistant. He wants to see you immediately. His office. I walked past Marcus's office. He was still laughing on the phone, probably with one of his golf buddies. No idea his world was about to implode. William Brennan stood behind his desk, laptop open, face grave. He was watching footage of Marcus accessing his personal files. How long has this been going on? He asked without preamble. The theft over a year, I said. The harassment of female employees longer. Employees, plural? He looked up sharply. He's done this to others? I nodded. But they're all afraid to speak up. He threatens their jobs. Mr. Brennan made several calls while I sat there. Head of security. Head of HR. The company's legal counsel. His assistant was instructed to call all board members for an emergency meeting. I need you to work with security, he told me. Show them everything. We're building a case. What about Marcus? I asked. Does he know? Not yet, Brennan said grimly. He will soon. What's this about you working Christmas? I explained Marcus's retaliation for my HR report, my children flying in, his proposition tonight. Brennan's face darkened further. You're not working Christmas, he said firmly. In fact, take the whole week paid. Be with your children. Marcus will. Marcus won't be here, Brennan interrupted. By tomorrow morning, he'll be dealing with law enforcement. He called his assistant back in. I want security badges changed tonight. Marcus Hayes is not to enter this building after he leaves today. Yes, sir. What reason should I give security? Corporate espionage, Brennan said flatly. And theft. The police will want to speak with him. The assistant's eyes widened, but she nodded and left. I felt a mix of relief and fear. Marcus would know I was responsible, but my kids would have their mother for Christmas. That evening, I watched from my car as Marcus left the building at 7 p.m., whistling and spinning his keys. He had no idea federal investigators were already going through his office. Security had been instructed to act normal until he left. The moment his car exited the parking garage, teams moved in. By 8 p.m., his office was stripped of electronics. Every file copied, every drawer searched. They found more than even I knew about. Cash hidden in false bottom drawers. Contracts with our biggest competitor. A second set of books for a side business he was running using company resources. I drove home and called my ex. I'll definitely be there to pick up the kids tomorrow. You sound relieved, he said. Work trouble? Not anymore, I replied. Problem solved. That night, I slept better than I had in months. Tomorrow, my children would arrive to a mother who still had a job, dignity intact, and justice served. Marcus, meanwhile, would wake up to a very different Christmas Eve. At 6 a.m. December 22nd, I got a text from Susan in accounting. Check the news. Local headlines. Brennan Industries executive arrested for corporate espionage. Marcus's mugshot was everywhere. The company had moved fast, pressing charges to protect their reputation and send a message. My phone rang at 7 a.m. Marcus from jail. I didn't answer. He called again.
And again.
Finally, I picked up. You vindictive bitch, he snarled. You destroyed my life over a couple of work days? No, I said calmly. You destroyed your life by stealing from the company and selling information to competitors. I just documented it. I'll sue you for invasion of privacy, he threatened. Good luck with that, I replied. The security footage belongs to the company. Mr. Brennan asked me to review it after discovering discrepancies. That was almost true. He would have asked if he'd known. My wife left me, he said, suddenly pathetic. Took the kids. It's Christmas. My kids are flying in today, I reminded him. The Christmas you tried to steal from me. Karma's interesting, isn't it? I'll get you for this, he said. When I get out, you'll be a registered felon who can't work in corporate America again, I interrupted. Your threats mean nothing now. I hung up and blocked his number. There were 3 other missed calls from numbers I didn't recognize. Other executives from the company probably. But I'd talk to them after Christmas. Today was about my children. At 3 p.m., I stood at the airport arrivals gate, holding a sign that said, my favorite Christmas presents. Mia saw it first, shrieking mommy and running full speed into my arms. James followed, trying to act cool but hugging me just as tightly. We missed you so much, Mia said, tears on her cheeks. Dad said you might have to work. Not anymore, I said. I have the whole week off. Just us. We drove home through falling snow, the kids chattering about school, friends, and their plans for Christmas. The tree I'd decorated alone suddenly felt complete with them near it. That evening, as we made cookies and watched Christmas movies, my phone buzzed with emails from work. All supportive. Turns out Marcus had harassed half the female staff. Everyone was grateful someone finally stopped him. Mr. Brennan sent a personal message. Your courage saved this company from a serious security breach. We owe you a debt. Enjoy your children. We'll discuss your promotion when you return.
Promotion?
I hadn't expected that. But then, I'd saved them millions in potential losses from Marcus's corporate espionage. My kids noticed my smile. You look happy, Mom, James said. I am, I replied. I have you both here. That's all that matters. Christmas Eve morning, we went ice skating at the park. The kids were terrible at it, falling and laughing, making memories. No expensive gifts needed. Just time together. That afternoon, while the kids napped, I checked the local news. Marcus's story had exploded. 3 other companies had come forward, claiming he'd sold them information too. The FBI was now involved. His assets were frozen. His reputation destroyed. His high-powered lawyer had dropped him. But the best part? Other women from various companies started coming forward about his harassment. A pattern emerged spanning 15 years and 5 companies. He'd always targeted single mothers, knowing they were vulnerable. Christmas predator executive faces multiple charges. One headline read, I felt no sympathy. He'd weaponized Christmas against me, tried to separate me from my children as punishment for refusing his advances. That evening, the kids and I attended the community Christmas Eve service. Mia sang in the children's choir. James played his recorder solo. I cried, grateful to be there. Last week, I thought I'd miss it all because of Marcus's cruelty. As we lit candles for the final song, I thought about Marcus spending Christmas Eve in jail. No family, no freedom, no future. He'd had everything and thrown it away for greed and power. Christmas morning came, with excited children jumping on my bed at 5 a.m. Santa came. Santa came. We opened presents, ate too many pancakes, and stayed in pajamas all day.
Perfect.
Around noon, Mr. Brennan called personally. I'm sorry to interrupt your holiday, he said, but I wanted you to know we've uncovered more issues thanks to your discovery. More theft? I asked. Worse, he said. Marcus was planning to start his own company using our client list and proprietary information. We found the incorporation documents. When was he planning to leave? Next month. After he'd downloaded everything and sabotaged our relationships with key clients. So, by making me work Christmas. He was keeping you busy while he finished stealing data, Brennan concluded. Your refusal to back down saved us from catastrophic losses. We talked for a few more minutes. He offered me Marcus's position with a significant salary increase. Think about it, he said. Enjoy your children. We'll talk after New Year's. I hung up in shock. From nearly fired to promoted to operations director. The kids noticed my expression. Good news, Mom? Mia asked. Very good news, I said. But the best news is you're both here. December 26th brought unexpected visitors. 3 women from the company who'd been harassed by Marcus. They brought coffee and wanted to thank me. We were too scared, Susan admitted. He threatened to blacklist us in the industry. You gave us courage, another said. We're all testifying now. They shared their stories. Marcus's pattern was consistent. Target vulnerable women, escalate slowly, retaliate viciously if rejected, but always carefully, leaving little evidence. How did you think to check the cameras?
Susan asked.
I explained about the accidental access, my desperation to save Christmas with my kids. He picked the wrong target, Susan said. A mother protecting her time with her children? That's primal. We laughed, but it was true. Marcus had miscalculated. He thought taking my Christmas would break me. Instead, it gave me the motivation to destroy him. The kids played in the next room, unaware of the adult conversation. But Mia must have sensed something. Mom's happier, she told Susan. She smiles more now. Your mom's a hero, Susan told her. She saved a lot of people. Mia beamed with pride. James pretended not to care, but I saw him listening. They'd remember this, that their mother stood up to a bully and won. By New Year's Eve, Marcus's full crimes were exposed. Embezzlement of $2.3 million over 3 years. Sale of trade secrets worth millions more. Tax evasion through his shadow company. The FBI added wire fraud and conspiracy charges. He was looking at 20 years minimum. His wife filed for divorce and full custody. His country club revoked his membership. His name became synonymous with corporate corruption in our industry. Meanwhile, I was preparing to take over his position. Mr. Brennan assigned me a mentor, wanting to ensure my success.
You've earned this, he said.
But I want you properly supported. The salary increase would change our lives. Private school for the kids. College funds. Maybe even a house instead of our apartment. But more importantly, I'd have regular hours. No more Marcus changing schedules vindicatively. No more missing important moments. The kids flew back to Seattle on January 2nd. Saying goodbye was hard but different this time. We'll see you at spring break, I promised. And this summer, we're taking a real vacation. Really? James asked skeptically. Really, I confirmed. I'm the boss now. I make the schedules. They left excited about future plans instead of sad about separation. My first day as operations director was January 8th. I walked into Marcus's former office, now mine, and found a bouquet of flowers from the female staff. Thank you for standing up, the card read. We're all standing taller now. I implemented immediate changes. Clear harassment policies with real consequences. Anonymous reporting systems. Regular reviews of security footage for irregularities. You're changing the culture, Mr. Brennan observed after my first month. For the better, I replied. No one should choose between their job and their dignity. Marcus's trial began in March. I testified for 6 hours, presenting evidence, emails, recordings. He sat at the defendant's table, no longer the confident predator. He looked smaller, defeated. His lawyer tried to paint me as a vindictive employee, but the evidence was overwhelming. 12 women from various companies testified about harassment. The financial crimes were undeniable. When I finished testifying, I walked past his table. He looked up and I saw something I'd never seen before. fear. He knew he was finished. The man who'd tried to steal my Christmas with my children would spend many Christmases in federal prison. The jury deliberated for only 3 hours. Guilty on all counts. 25 years in federal prison. No possibility of parole for 15 years. Spring break arrived, and the kids flew in for a week. I took the entire time off, something I could never have done under Marcus. We went to Disney World, something I'd promised for years but could never afford or schedule. This is the best.
Mia screamed on Space Mountain.
Can we come every year? Maybe not every year, I laughed, but regularly. James, trying to be mature at almost 9, still hugged me after every ride. Thanks, Mom.
For everything.
That night in the hotel, I told them an age-appropriate version of what had happened. How a bad boss tried to keep me from Christmas, but I stood up to him. So you're the boss now? James asked. One of them, I confirmed. And I make sure no one misses important family time. Good, Mia said firmly. Families should be together for Christmas. Always, I agreed. We returned home exhausted but happy. The other single mothers at work noticed the change in me. I'd become their unofficial advocate, ensuring schedules accommodated school events and family emergencies. You remember what it's like, one said gratefully. Marcus never did. Marcus couldn't remember anything beyond his own greed and desires. That blindness had been his downfall. Summer arrived with the kids coming for 6 weeks. I'd arranged my schedule to work from home half-days, something the new company culture supported. We established routines. Morning activities, afternoon work while they read or played, evenings together. It was balance I'd never thought possible. One day, while at the company picnic, Mr. Brennan pulled me aside. You've transformed this place, he said. Productivity is up 30%. Turnover is down 50%. Happy employees work harder, I said simply. Something Marcus never understood. He understood taking, Brennan said. You understand giving. That's why you're succeeding where he failed. The kids were playing with other employees' children. The company had become family-friendly under my influence. Monthly family events, on-site daycare, flexible schedules for parents. Everything Marcus had mocked as soft. But our numbers were the best in company history. Turns out, supporting employees' lives improved their work. Revolutionary concept. That night, the kids and I watched the fireworks from the company picnic. Your work is fun, Mia observed. It is now, I agreed. Because good people are in charge. You're good people, Mom, James said matter-of-factly. The simplest and best performance review I'd ever received. Christmas approached again, 1 year after Marcus tried to weaponize it against me. The kids were flying in December 20th, staying for 2 full weeks. I'd approved time off for every parent in the company who requested it. The board questioned the coverage. We'll manage, I assured them. Contract workers for essential services. Rotating skeleton crews with overtime bonuses. No one misses family Christmas. It was expensive, but worth it. Employee satisfaction scores were at an all-time high. We'd won Best Workplace for Parents from a major business magazine. Marcus's legacy of fear and manipulation was completely erased. His replacement as my assistant was a young father who'd been stuck in the mailroom for 5 years. Brilliant, but overlooked because he couldn't play golf with the executives. Thank you for the opportunity, he said daily. Thank your qualifications, I replied. Merit matters here now. The kids arrived to a company Christmas party where they were guests of honor. Employees knew the story, how my fight for Christmas with them had exposed Marcus. Your mom's a legend, someone told James. He puffed with pride. Yeah, she's pretty cool. That evening, wrapping presents, I thought about the previous year's despair. Marcus calling me on December 20th, telling me I'd work or be fired. Christmas Eve arrived with traditions old and new. Ice skating, now that the kids were better at it. Cookie baking with recipes from my grandmother. Church service where both kids performed again. But this year, I wasn't crying from relief. I was simply present, grateful, and secure. Christmas morning was chaotic joy. The kids had everything they'd asked for and more. Not expensive things, but thoughtful ones. Art supplies for Mia. Science kits for James. Experiences over objects. Best Christmas ever, they declared, though they'd said that last year too. Every Christmas with you is the best, I told them. Even when we're apart, you're always with me. After lunch, something unexpected. Marcus's ex-wife called. I wanted to thank you, she said, for exposing who he really was. I'm sorry your family got hurt, I said sincerely. We're better off, she replied. The kids see their real father now, not the facade. They're happier with less money and more truth. We talked for an hour. She'd rebuilding her life, going back to school, teaching her children about integrity over image. Marcus is alone, she said finally. His choice to prioritize greed over family. But we're thriving. Another family saved by truth, even painful truth. New Year's Eve, the kids and I made vision boards for the coming year. Mine had pictures of houses, we'd be buying one soon, family vacations, and career goals. What's that one? Mia asked, pointing to a photo of a podium. I want to speak at conferences, I explained, about creating family-friendly workplaces. Will you tell them about the mean boss? James asked. Part of the story, I confirmed, but mostly about how companies succeed when they support families. Both kids added speaking engagements to their boards. We want to tell stories too, Mia said. About having a brave mom. Their faith in me was humbling. Marcus had tried to make me choose between them and my job. Now I had both, better than ever. The company had promoted me again, to senior vice president. The board wanted my influence expanding beyond operations. You understand people, Brennan said. That's invaluable. Marcus had understood only himself. That narcissism had blinded him to everything else. At midnight, we watched fireworks from our apartment balcony. Make a wish, I told the kids. Already came true, James said. We're together. Mia nodded agreement. And the mean boss is gone forever. Forever was accurate. Marcus's appeals had all failed. He'd served the full 25 years. The kids returned to Seattle in January, but differently than before. We had solid plans for the future. Spring break trip to Washington, D.C. summer together for 2 months. Next Christmas already approved off. You seem happier, my ex-husband observed at drop-off. More confident. Life's good, I said simply. Work values me. Kids are thriving. Can't complain. That boss who gave you trouble? He asked. Federal prison, I replied. For a very long time. He whistled. Don't mess with Mama Bear protecting Christmas with her cubs. Exactly, I agreed. Back at work, I was implementing more changes. Mandatory management training on harassment and retaliation. Regular audits of expense reports and access logs. Whistleblower protections that actually protected. You're preventing future Marcuses, the HR director said. That's the goal, I confirmed. Never again. February brought news that Marcus had been transferred to maximum security after attempting to bribe guards. Even in prison, he couldn't stop scheming. His lawyer contacted me, suggesting I drop the civil suit in exchange for his cooperation in returning stolen funds. No deals, I said. He faces all consequences. The money was recovered anyway, frozen assets seized by federal authorities. By March, I was speaking at my first conference about corporate culture transformation. The story of Christmas 2023 became a case study in standing up to workplace retaliation. One person's courage can change everything, I told the audience. But systems must support that courage. Companies started reaching out, wanting to implement our family-friendly policies. We'd become a model for work-life balance without sacrificing productivity. Marcus's legacy was completely reversed. He tried to create a culture of fear. We'd created one of support. Spring break with the kids included a visit to my office. They saw their names on my desk, their artwork on walls, their presence acknowledged. You belong here, employees told them. You're why your mom fights for family time. James studied the security office, understanding how cameras had saved us. Technology for good, he said thoughtfully. Maybe I'll work in security someday. Protecting people? I asked. Like you did, he confirmed. Mia organized my supplies, declaring she'd be CEO someday. But nice CEO, she clarified. Not like the mean boss. The best kind, I agreed. Their ambitions were shaped by seeing justice prevail. Marcus had inadvertently taught them about consequences. Summer was glorious. 2 months with the kids, working part-time from home, building our life together. We found a house to buy, their first real home with me since the divorce. Our forever place? Mia asked hopefully. For as long as you need it, I promised. The house was modest but had a yard, separate bedrooms, and space for a home office. The down payment came from my promotion bonus, money Marcus thought he'd stolen from me. August brought news of Marcus's first parole hearing. Denied immediately. Multiple violations in prison, no remorse shown, continued threats against witnesses. He'll serve the full term, the prosecutor assured me. Men like him never learn. 24 more years. My kids would be adults before he walked free. His children wouldn't remember him. The family he destroyed for greed was gone forever. Meanwhile, my family was stronger than ever. The kids were confident, secure, knowing their mother could protect and provide for them. Do you ever feel bad for him? James asked one evening. I feel bad for who he could have been, I said, but not for who he chose to be. He chose to be mean, Mia summarized. And mean has consequences. 8-year-old wisdom. Perfectly stated. September meant the kids returning to school, but we'd had an entire summer together. More than many divorced parents ever got. Marcus's attempt to steal one Christmas had resulted in endless time together. My company had become an industry leader in employee satisfaction. Other businesses sent representatives to study our methods. All because Marcus's cruelty had forced transformation. You turned poison into medicine, Mr. Brennan said during my second anniversary as operations director. Marcus was the poison. You were the cure. The quarterly reports showed record profits. Happy employees really did produce better results. Marcus's philosophy of fear and intimidation was proven definitively wrong. That Christmas approached with anticipation, not dread. The kids would arrive December 18th, staying through New Year's. I'd approved similar time for all parents in the company. 3rd year's the charm, everyone said. 3 years since Marcus tried to break me. Instead, he'd broken himself against my determination to be with my children. The FBI called in November. Marcus was being charged with additional crimes discovered during investigation. More theft, earlier than known, from previous employers. He's looking at life now, the agent said. Multiple counts across state lines. No sympathy from me. He'd chosen this path with every theft, every harassment, every cruelty. December 18th, the kids arrived to snow and celebration. The company Christmas party was the next day, where I'd speak about our journey from toxic to triumphant. 3 years ago, I began. A man tried to weaponize Christmas against me. He thought separating me from my children was appropriate punishment for refusing his advances. The room was silent, everyone knowing the story, but hearing it formally for the first time. That man is in federal prison for 25 to life. I continued. This company has transformed into a beacon of family support. My children are here tonight because we choose people over profit, families over fear. Applause erupted. The kids stood with me, no longer the small children Marcus had tried to keep from me. They were confident young people who'd learned about standing up to bullies. Merry Christmas to all our families, I concluded. May you never have to choose between work and love. The party continued late, families together, employees grateful. Marcus's former office, now mine, had become a symbol of transformation. Christmas Eve was perfect. Traditions maintained, memories created, love celebrated. The kids were older but still excited about Christmas morning. Remember when you almost couldn't come? Mia asked. That was the worst until it became the best, James said. Because Mom won. Christmas morning, 3 years after Marcus's threat, was peaceful joy. The kids opened presents slowly, savoring rather than rushing. They were growing up, but Christmas magic remained. Best gift. I asked them. Being together, they said in unison, then laughed at their synchronization. After breakfast, we visited the women's shelter where I now volunteered, bringing presents for children whose mothers were escaping abusive situations. Like Marcus?
Mia whispered.
Sometimes worse, I admitted. But they're safe now. The shelter director pulled me aside. Your story gives them hope, she said, that bullies can be beaten. With evidence and courage, I agreed. And support systems. We donated Marcus's entire recovered theft to the shelter. Fitting that his crimes now funded recovery for abuse victims. That evening, as snow fell and the kids played new board games, I reflected on the journey. Marcus had meant to destroy my Christmas 2023. Instead, he destroyed himself while creating a better future for dozens of families. His harassment had exposed his crimes. His crimes had led to his imprisonment. His imprisonment had freed the company to transform. The call from Mr. Brennan came at 8 p.m. Merry Christmas. Wanted you to know the board voted unanimously. You're being promoted to president next year. I hung up in shock. President of the company, because I'd refused to let a predator steal Christmas with my children. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, share this video, and activate the notification bell for more interesting videos.